And today I'm going to review the final in the Dark Knight trilogy, that being The Dark Knight Rises. And this came out in 2012, I'm pretty sure. I was probably only, probably 7 or 6, I don't know. But, yeah. I wanted to watch this movie because when I was little, I watched the trailers and I thought they were all amazing. They looked very interesting, and I was wondering about Batman versus Bane, because that's what this movie got us. We got an actual version of Bane, played by Tom Hardy. Now, one from the Batman Robin is Bane, it is. It's just, I don't know, I wish they could have done something more, because Bane is smart. Like, that's what I don't like about some versions of Bane. They don't portray him as smart. Like, Bane is tactician. He knows how to mess with Batman. That's how he was able to defeat him in this movie. And that's why I like the storyline. And so this one's more about, like, Bruce Wayne getting out of retirement, going back to fighting crime as Batman. Well, not really. Kind of. Sort of. But we get to meet Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. And, yeah, she's quite interesting in this one. Because, I don't know, we never really... This one doesn't really get talked about much as, Michelle Pfeiffer from Batman Returns. And I don't know what they're going to do with the one for the Batman. I don't know how to say her name, but, yeah. So, yeah, Batman is just... He's broken still. He barely knows how to fight anymore until... he just steps back up, but when he does it, he gets chased by tons of cops and stuff. But, yeah, and he doesn't know if he can really do it. And, as this is going on, Bane is planning to pursue Gotham so he can rule Gotham. Or whatever, at his image, and, Catwoman helps him do it. And Bane, like, kind of succeeds in a way, because he's able to lure Batman. And, yeah, the two get into a big fight, and, yeah, we get the iconic, the Bane breaks the bat, and, yeah, I think the comic's more well done, but, I can see the inspiration, and, yeah, I feel like everybody's still great in this movie. Like, Christian Bale's still great as Batman, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman. I don't think I mentioned Lucius Fox that much, but, yeah. He's, like, the most memorable of Lucius Fox in this trilogy. Because Lucius doesn't really appear much in Batman, like, occasionally. And, yeah. This movie's intense. Like, you know what's going on. Like, Bane's a good villain because he, like I think I've been saying, he's, like, intimidating because he literally blows up an entire football stadium. He blows up half of Gotham. He blows up half the bridges just to send a message that he wants to rule. And as this is going on, he kidnapped Batman and lured him all the way through this hole. And what I like about it is it's basically where Batman started. When he was a kid, he fell down a deep hole, and now he's got to go climb back up, even when he's older. That foreshadowing is really well done for storytelling. I just like the part where the people in the hole are just like, hey, hey, ha, hey, hey, ha. And then Batman is like slowly climbing up this thing, and he has a few nightmares of it, and he's struggling trying to get his legs back together since Bane literally smashes his back, and, took a few tries, and Batman finally gets back up, and, yeah, and how do we know he got back to Gotham? Who knows? Maybe he just snuck in. And, I would like to talk about this character. John Blank. He's played by Joseph, I don't know say his full name, but, people keep saying he's gonna play Robin or whatever, all because he had a code name at the end of the movie. Robin. Nah, he's not Robin, he's a cop. And, yeah, I thought he was interesting. He got my attention the most. And, yeah, it feels like everybody's broken in this movie. Until they're able to rise up and realize Gotham doesn't need Batman. They need each other. And then I love the part where the cops gather together and literally charge against all Bane's armies. And they literally just keep fighting. And then the music's playing. It's really powerful. And, Batman's back in Gotham. And apparently this whole time, it was Ra's al Ghul's daughter, Talia, has been orchestrated this whole thing the whole time. And Bane later then confronts Batman again, and the two fight, and then Batman literally just reflects lines Bane says, like, do you permission to die? And then Batman says it to him. And, yeah, but as this happens, Bane just dies. He gets shot by Catwoman. And, yeah, I guess it was somewhat of a romance for Bruce and Catwoman. As this is all going on, Batman has to make a final choice. That, taking the big bomb that was supposed to blow up all of Gotham. He then takes his Batwing. And I love the part where James Gordon and Batman, because James Gordon goes through a lot in this movie because he almost dies himself from Bane. But I just like where James is just like, who's gonna know who saved Gotham? And then Batman literally just says things that are a reflection when he first met James Gordon, and the flashback appears, and James Gordon is just like, Bruce Wayne. And then Batman swings away with his Batwing with the bomb, and I love the part where John Blank is trying to protect these kids on the school bus, and they're just like, this is it, and then the kid goes, that's Batman, and then Batman swoops away into the sea, and then the bomb blows up, and Batman dies. Well, not actually. And yeah, it's quite sad, but a heroic sacrifice. I just love the part where Batman just stares off into the sky as we see the counter go off, and then we don't know. And Batman obviously did survive. He probably let him go to the bomb to the last minute, and then swiftly swung away with the Batwing and faked his death. Basically, that's my theory. And we see the grave, and then Alfred's upset. Everyone's upset, and then the movie kind of just ends with the legacy of Batman now over, and Gotham almost seems perfect. And yeah, and then it's revealed at the end, because Alfred had this dream of Bruce that is now reflected, where Batman is happy, he's with Selina, even though she's a criminal. And yeah, and John Blank finds the Batcave, the original one, and the movie ends. And that's The Dark Knight Rises. Now, this movie is not really the most like Batman movie, but I like it. I think it has a lot of good emotional moments, foreshadowing, and a good solid end to the trilogy. People thought we could have gotten a fourth movie, but I think this movie ended perfectly. Just a perfect, not the best ending, but fine for what it was. I'd probably give The Dark Knight Rises maybe a high 8 out of 10. There are some plot holes here and there, but honestly, you can kind of ignore it. Or not. But yeah, I'm so glad I reviewed The Dark Knight Rises and the whole Dark Knight trilogy. Maybe I'll review another Batman movie, but if you see the Batman, I hope you have a great time, and maybe I'll review it one day. And thanks for watching, I'll see you guys next time.